Hey guys, Brixenta here, and my motto is dream big and take action. So this is actually my first podcast, and so it's going to be pretty raw, but I'm recording it for YouTube as well, and you're just going to get me, so I might be stumbling over my words. It's going to be a little raw, but I hope you enjoy. I hope you get a lot out of this, and we're going to talk about being unmotivated. So I wanted to talk about this because I wrote a blog about it the other day, which you can find at brixenta.com/blogs. What happened was, actually it was a lot like today. I got up, I was feeling unmotivated, but then somehow I found the motivation to do what I wanted to set out to do, and I wrote about the process of going through all that. And today, kind of the same thing happened. It's actually kind of late at night because this morning, this morning I was really productive, but it was all like mundane stuff. It was all the normal, everyday, I just have to do this every week stuff. So I got to the afternoon and I wasn't feeling super great. I hadn't been feeling great the last couple of days, and I just gave myself the afternoon off. And so now it's 8:30 at night, and I'm filming a vlog and a podcast, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because I wanted to give you some tools to get motivated when you're feeling unmotivated. So the first thing is, give yourself the space to be unmotivated. If you're unmotivated, maybe you need to take the morning off, maybe you need to take the afternoon off, and stop judging yourself for it. If you're like me, and if you're watching my content, you probably are, or if you're listening to it, you're probably like me, and you want to help people so bad, and you want to get your content out there, you want to get your career going, you want to do all of these things, you want to get your hustle on, and so those times that you spend not doing that, you judge yourself, and you're like, I'm such a horrible person, I can't believe I didn't do that. Stop it! It's not helpful. All it does is make you feel bad, and it doesn't change anything. All it does is make that unmotivated spiral even deeper down, and you can't get out of it. So stop judging yourself. If you feel like you need to take a morning off, do it. It's okay. No one's perfect. No one can go 24/7, and if that's what you need to do, do it. So hustle hard most days, but if you need to take some time off, know that it's okay to do that. Even Gary Vaynerchuk takes time off, and it's okay. He's like an amazing person about not judging himself for making mistakes or for taking time off or for whatever he needs to do. And so I think we should all kind of take that model on and be like, if we need a morning off, if we need an afternoon off, if we even need a day off, do it and stop judging ourselves. So my next point is, maybe you just need something to spark that creativity. Maybe it's not so much unmotivated as you're like, well, I've been kind of doing the same thing over and over again, and I feel like I need a change. I'm not feeling motivated to do what I've been doing. So maybe that means that you need to do something that brings you joy. Maybe for me would be a walk in the woods, or sitting down at my piano not working because if I'm like working on a piece, that's not the same thing. It's not really an outlet. Or doing my makeup. I do my makeup every day though, so sometimes if I'm in that space, it's not quite enough. But these are all outlets for me, and they're all things that bring me joy. And especially a walk in the woods. Sometimes that walk in the woods is just the thing I need to get in a different headspace, and the creativity starts going, because then I start thinking of all these different things, thinking of all these exciting ways I can do different things, create different content, put new content out there, help people in new ways, or help people in the same way but a different spin on it, or whatever. Sometimes that's what it takes to get the ideas to flow. So sometimes you just need to do something that brings you joy. And then the last thing is, sometimes you do just need to suck it up and get started, because sometimes if we are like, I'm unmotivated, unmotivated, and then don't start, then nothing gets accomplished. But sometimes if we're in that space and we just start, then the creativity starts going, the ideas start going, and then we're like, oh, it's not actually that bad, it's not too bad, we can do this. And at least I know it is for me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I know I can get in that space of, I don't really feel like doing it, and then like push myself, and maybe even sometimes I give myself like a 10-minute time limit, 20-minute time limit, just work on this for 20 minutes. Sometimes getting that whole, it's only going to be 10 minutes, it's only going to be 20 minutes in your head, get you in a frame. It's like, okay, I don't really feel like doing this, but I can do it, and then you end up going for like 2 hours. So sometimes it's just doing it anyway and giving yourself, hey, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes, that's it. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be time consuming. It's not going to take over my life. It's not going to be this dredging thing that I'm, those were not the right words. It's not going to be this thing that I think it's going to be. It's not going to be this awful experience. It's actually going to be a really good one. So just do it. Get started, and then sometimes you just keep going anyway. And sometimes at 20 minutes, you're like, I'm done. I did my 20 minutes and I'm done. And that's okay too. It's just kind of knowing what you need for that day. And then another thing is, if it's a consistent problem where you're unmotivated time and time again, if you're feeling unmotivated every day or every day for an extended period of time, that's probably a much deeper issue than just not wanting to do it that day, or not feeling well that day, or having a lot on your mind so you need to get some of it out. It's very different. Sometimes you just need to write it out, and that helps clear up all the mess that's going on in your head, and so you can see clearly what's really going on. But sometimes if it's a consistent thing where you're feeling unmotivated, there's probably an emotion attached. So there's some sort of emotion that you probably need to work through. This took me many years to figure out, because I had a lot of emotions that I needed to work through, so I was pretty much just pushing every day. And I've been to counselors, I've been to therapists, I've been to coaches, you name it, I've done it, to work through all of this. And so that's developed this self-awareness. So if you're not there yet, I highly suggest doing things like listening to podcasts and going to therapists, going to counselors, doing whatever you need to do to get there. But if you are there already, you know, and sorry, emotions could be the cause of it. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we put off writing that blog post because we're afraid it's going to succeed, or we're afraid that people will reject it. And we don't think that, we just think we're unmotivated. But if we really get down to it, the thing that's been holding us back is fear. Or sometimes it's a matter of, I don't feel motivated to do the work for this business today, but it's a matter of something in our lives are not going well, like the job you're doing, for instance. I know I've been in that situation many times. Maybe you just hate your job and need to do something to change that, to be able to work through all of these emotions, and to be able to get into a good headspace. Or maybe it's a matter of there's something personal going on. You didn't realize it was such a big deal, but it's actually caused you to be unmotivated, because when you have all these undealt with emotions going on inside, you're weighted down, you're heavier, you're not physically, you just feel heavier. You feel heavier, you're weighted down. It's hard to even function on a daily basis, depending on the level of the emotions, or how many emotions there are, or how many things you need to work through. So sometimes it's not a matter of you're just lazy. Sometimes it's a matter of you're not motivated because there's stuff that you need to work through. Now, if you're feeling lazy consistently, maybe that's not the thing that you're supposed to be doing. Maybe find something else. Maybe that's the issue there. Maybe it's not an emotional issue. Maybe it's that you need to figure out something else to do instead. So I know I gave a long list of possibilities, but the thing is to know why you're unmotivated and to be able to take action to get motivated, you have to be really self-aware. So you have to be constantly working on yourself. That means journaling. That means using your outlets. For me, it's like art, bright colors, neon colors specifically, music, things like that. Music that I'm not working on, just music that I'm just either playing for fun or listening to. Jewelry making can be for me too. Different things like that. Know your outlets. Know what emotions you're going through inside. If there's something that feels off, knowing how to deal with it. It takes a lot of time to learn how to work through emotions, and in society, we grow up, we go to school. Schools don't really teach us how to deal with it, and unless we've had parents that have done a really good job of that, most of us have no idea how to deal with them. So my suggestion is start listening to podcasts that are going to help you through that. Start watching videos that are going to help you through that. Reading books, going to therapists, going to counselors. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. They're actually really good things. They're actually really strengthening things. Sometimes it seems like if we face our emotions, we're weak. It feels like it. I know I grew up in a household where I was taught that we shouldn't even have emotions. Not that I should hide them, but that we shouldn't even have them. And so I know it can be really, really hard, and you can think that there's something wrong with you or that you're weak if you have all these emotions, but there's nothing wrong with you. You're not weak. Anxiety is something that I've dealt with a lot. Learned a lot of how to deal with that in myself. And the thing is, a lot of it, there's still times that I have to deal with it, but a big chunk came from a lot of undealt with emotions. So know that it's actually not weak. It's actually the opposite, dealing with those emotions, because when you face those emotions, it's really painful. And then when you face those emotions and you live them out, you risk rejection. So you're sitting there, you're daring greatly, like Brene Brown would say. You're sitting there daring greatly, and you're risking your heart in dealing with these emotions. So it's actually something that takes so much strength to do, and I believe in you. You can do it. And when you do it, when you're vulnerable with yourself, then you can be vulnerable with others. And when you're vulnerable with others, you can feel connected and you can feel like you actually belong. And when you're self-aware and you know that there's emotions going on and know how to deal with them, you have the tools to deal with them, then you feel like a functioning human. You feel like you can actually accomplish anything. And when those emotions rise up, you have the tools to deal with them, to know what to do, to how to work through them. And if you're anything like me, when I started this journey, you don't have a clue where to start, and that's okay. It's gonna be a journey. It's probably gonna be a lifelong journey. I'm sure I still have a lot to learn, but just know that showing emotion and working through the emotions is actually so strengthening. And that's how, like, you see all these people who are successful and happy. There are some people that are successful and they're not happy. Or there's some people that are successful and they're putting on a front that they're happy, but they're really not. But if you see those successful people that are truly, truly happy, it's because they've learned how to work through those emotions. They've learned how to work through what's going on inside of them. They're not depending on an outside source to make them happy, because let me tell you, that outside source will never make you happy. And when you're in a healthy place and you know what's going on inside of you, or maybe you don't know right away, but you know how to deal with it when you do figure it out, then you can figure out what you need to get motivated. Sometimes it is just as simple as taking a day off, and that's okay, and that's actually a really good thing. Sometimes it's taking yourself on a date. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes that's what it takes, because you gotta know how to listen to yourself too. So I'm gonna leave you on that note. If you have questions, please ask them. I'm more than happy to help you in any way that I can. I have other videos on my YouTube channel, so if you're listening to the podcast, I have videos on my YouTube channel. I have blogs on my website. It's brixenta.com. I have blogs on my website. I have TikTok videos out there. I have so much content out there, and it's all free. So if you need any more assistance, feel free to check any of it out. I'm Brixenta everywhere. I'm very active on Instagram stories, brixenta.com, Instagram.com/brixentamusic. If you search Brixenta, you'll find me just about everywhere. I love you guys so much, and as always, dream big and take action.